There comes a time that we all must make a stand. There comes a time when tyranny (25th, 1776), and in the memory of the five-man committee that drafted the Statement of Intentions for the colonies that became known as the Declaration of Independence, a five-man committee was once again formed, including Robert Patrick Lewis, 10th Special Forces Group veteran and founder of First Amendment Praetorian, Mark Fallon, retired 7th Special Forces Group veteran, and Scott Kesterson, veteran, specialized defense contractor, and founder and voice of the BardsFM podcast. Our objective was to draft a formal statement of defiance to guide next steps and intentions of patriots in the digital army. This statement, unlike the Declaration of Independence, would be adopted by the consent of the many who fight for liberty across this nation. To that end, an abbreviated petition is now posted on the whitehouse.gov site, and the full Petition of Defiance is posted on change.org to allow as many who are willing to sign in support of this document. These links are below, and we encourage patriots to share them both aggressively and widely. This statement of defiance and conviction firmly establishes that we will no longer allow this current government to continue in its lawless form and outside the will of the governed. Let our petition of defiance be submitted to a candid world. We have arrived at a decision point in our nation where we must choose between the path of tyranny and the path of liberty. Never have the words "consent of the governed" written in our Declaration of Independence been more prescient. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. What has become clear is that lying and manipulation by our elected officials and taxpayer-funded government employees has become standard practice, preserving their positions of power at the expense of those who struggle to feed their families while dutifully paying their taxes. Furthermore, it is now standard practice to employ media and social influence to mock and defame anyone who speaks out. The arrogance and moral negligence demonstrated by our elected and unelected leadership has escalated into the tyranny our founding fathers warned us about and empowered us with the legal tools to resolve. We are a country by and for the people, whereby those that serve are accountable to the will of the people, not the other way around. When a government sees itself above the people, it becomes a ruling elite, who no longer is relevant to rule in our republic. As Thomas Paine wrote, a body of men holding themselves accountable to no one ought not to be trusted by anybody. It is here that we the people have arrived, knowing that the decisions and steps we make moving forward will determine the survival of our republic and liberty, or secure our enslavement to the desires of the ruling elite. Let it be known that we choose liberty, and let all of those throughout history understand where the undersigned stand. We the people will not waver our support for President Donald John Trump, whose position as president was overwhelmingly re-secured in the national vote on November 3, 2020, which is now being threatened in an active coup against we the people. We the people now know the identities of the insurrectionists behind these tactics and the lies they require. That includes all of the corporate, elected, and non-elected persons as well. We the people are aware of publicly available communications that implicate the elite's candidate Joe Biden in blatant money laundering crimes involving foreign adversaries and the organized effort to censor any person or entity discussing Biden family criminality. We the people are aware of the travesty of justice delivered on Michael Flynn and his family through an admittedly organized effort among the leadership of duly sworn law enforcement officers to obstruct and destroy exculpatory evidence. We the people are aware of 4 years of open subversion, sedition, and treason by some of the highest-ranking people in our government, elected and unelected alike, against the nation in an effort to unseat a duly elected President Donald J. Trump. We the people have learned that our national security apparatus has been turned against an unknown number of American citizens outside of the laws with no accountability to speak of. We the people know that the system of power under which we reside has arrived at a point that to speak freely is considered a threat to the ruling elite, who force censorship and only allow defined forms of acceptable speech in full disregard of our First Amendment rights. We the people have been and continue to be subject. We will no longer accept the rule of those that seek to defy the Constitution, as is our right given to us by our founding fathers in the Declaration of Independence. We remind those in power of these words. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, devises a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. We therefore are establishing this line, which we will not cross. We will not consent nor comply any more to the tyranny of this present form of rule. This is in no way intended to act as a threat, but rather a promise of non-compliance if basic questions and actions are ignored and refused that ensure So let our voice be heard, and let us begin to organize. And in doing so, we begin the actions of taking our republic back. Have a very blessed evening. God bless America. God bless the Republic. God bless the Patriots and the Digital Army.